here.
The paper boy's here!
The new boy's here, guys!
The paper boy!
Chris.
Oh, I thought he was going to
Screen
sit down.
Oh, there we go.
Should work.
Yeah.
Just make sure you indicate one of the others.
You just have to press
Oh.
allow.
Okay. Of journalism is going to look like. I think. Where are you going?
And this is what it would look like.
Okay. So, what is the future of journalism? What will it be in the near future? How will arts of communication continue? To understand how a huge impact of advancements on communication, we'll start with how it is going to grow. So, oh, Chris, is there
We can still hear.
I can audio it for you. Extra, extra, read on learn it. These girls are doing the presentation.
It's your morning star. Read all about it. Paper, mister?
It used to be that we obtained our news and information through the printed word, linearly learning about current events, restrained to what would fit in the daily tabloid. The events from the world over were condensed into only a few pages. But information and communication has evolved, and the way in which we access it is no longer constrained to the page. It is posted, uploaded, edited, broadcasted and simulcasted across an expanding mediascape at a moment's notice. Journalism, media, communication and interaction have converged. It is living, it is moving, and it is constantly changing. And with it, so must we.
World news and events have always circulated in society. In the last 100 years, technology has grown and allowed so much more of a world voice to be heard. Newspapers have websites, and you can catch old news and new news anytime, anywhere.
So how are organizations like the Canadian Radio, Television, Telecommunications Commission ensuring they are providing excellent communication services? The CRTC always has the best interest of the consumer in mind.
So right now the CRTC is going through a bunch of different changes. For years the consumers had to pay for packages, deals when it came to television. The CRTC is starting a new service. It's called Pick and Pay, and it's programming that allows people to choose their channels and like the channels that they want. There is a speculation about this, how it will impact different channels and programming in like fall package deals and stuff like that. It'll also end costs, which will be more towards the consumer, they believe, and the amount of channels that people will have when it comes down to it. Sorry.
The CRTC also wants to protect Canadian programming. For example, Netflix streams so many shows and movies that if more Canadians decide to skip cable TV altogether and watch online, what happens to Canadian television production? In Ontario, the provincial government wants to tax Netflix, then increase the subsidies to local creative clusters to increase production of Canadian content in the airwaves.
Wireless service is also covered by the CRTC. They've recently implemented the wireless code, applying it to all wireless service providers. The wireless code does make it easier for the individual and small business customers to obtain and understand the information in their wireless service contracts, establish consumer-friendly business practices for the wireless service industry when necessary, and contribute to a more dynamic wireless market. So if any part of the code or the consumer contract is ambiguous, or if it is totally unclear about how the terms of the code or the contract are to be applied, then the code and the contract must be interpreted in a manner that is favorable to the customer. It also means that should a customer want to cancel their contract, they can without being penalized.
Print has come a long way since the time of monks using tile for printing to keep public informed. Newspapers used to be the only form of media, and today it's still in the game. People still read the newspaper every day, and there's stories being uploaded onto more than one social media site, making it more accessible to all. In the future, we believe that there will be less print-based hard copies and that most things will eventually turn to online, as it already is.
When radio hit airwaves, families would sit around and listen to it, such as we do now in television. They would, it was more like what the families would listen to for news and music. Today, radio is still a number of ways to get to the public. We listen to it in our cars. We have Sirius radio all the time, talk shows, everything like that, but it's more of a, just kind of a, have it in the background, listen to it when we have a chance to kind of thing. The future, we will see a number of skyrockets. There will be more talk shows, more music, more alternative stations, all available online and lesser, it'll still be in vehicles, but it'll be more of an online basis kind of thing.
So way back in the day, before remotes, there was black and white TV and 3 channels to pick from. Every station had their news hour of local and national news. Now, there are 24-hour news networks, cooking stations, 24 hours of cartoons, basically anything that you could want to find on television, you can. There are special interest stations like sports channels, and now we have HDTV, and of course, that comes with color. In the future, consumers will have the pick and pay option for lots of online content to choose from.
The web at first was more about posting information for people, like research for students, doctors, teachers, and etc. Also, the government used it for a lot of things, like documents that people could access. Companies had emails to get their messages out to employees, other employees. Now everyone has internet access. Even elementary students are learning to navigate the web. It's growing so fast that the future is basically here. Everything is going online and is only going to increase.
What we think is one single corporation is going to own print in the future, like kind of how Global is now. Global and Bell own mass media kind of stuff. So we think that print is just going to be owned by one big company. We also think that there's going to be more online radio programming. The phone companies will help develop more apps to get radio out, to get just television, everything. There will be more increased online-based jobs as well. So you could either stay at home or you will be in your business corporation. But at the same time, it's going to be more online media. Just all those kind of jobs are going to become way more for us. And TV news will be broadcasted online now.
One of the things that we are kind of afraid of, that there's a danger of developing, is a high level of one-sided news in the mainstream as things become more available online. Opinionated journalism is starting to become a norm, which means that people tend to listen to the face of who's giving the news than what the facts are. Print will definitely mostly be online, although people do like to have their hard copy, you know, family is in the news, something like that. They want that there in their own home. You should be able to continue to order it, but you would have to pay a higher fee for those services. And that's it.
Good work, guys.